know I promised that I'd be back on the Astra in this video. Well, I'm not. I've come on holiday to Portugal and thought, why not just do a bit of a bonus video? We've done a few different videos recently with the house move, and then the last video was a bit about me and my car history and my work history, and now it's me on holiday. Here you go. So let's welcome you to my crib. Allow me to show you around. We have the dining area, complete with a library and a spoon collection. What house is complete without a spoon collection? My house is lacking the spoons. We have the TV area opposite the dining room. Nice open space here. And then walking through into, lights please, the kitchen. That's the kitchen. Let's check out the bedroom and the bathroom. Check this out. That is cool. Let's see what is up the death stairs. I say the death stairs because you do not want to come down these drunk in the middle of the night. What's this door? This looks cool. Look at this. This is a good place to be. Look at my land. More of my land. More swimming pool. Let's get back in, see what else we've got. Bit of a chill area. Maybe if you fancy doing a bit of work on holiday. I don't. Danger lurks around here. Who knows what state this is going to be in. Kids bedroom 1. Kids bathroom. Not too bad, not too bad. And kids bedroom 2 with the dressing room, which is a bit of a bomb site. Good space to have though. That concludes the inside tour of the house. Let's move on outside. Ah yes, the holiday car, the Nissan Juke. This is a fine specimen of car. Same kind of calibre of car as the Vauxhall Mocha. It does have some very interesting features which I'll show you once I've concluded the house tour, which you probably will think are commonplace and you're familiar with, but because I like my older cars, I find it very strange. But I'll show you what I mean. We kind of seen all my land already from the balcony up there. This is the back of the house from the outside. And this is where I am staying. Right, let's check out that Juke. Check this out for a tiny little engine. This is bonkers. 3 cylinders, 1, 2, 3 coil packs there. A turbo. So what's this gonna be? Oh, look, a Renault on a Nissan. Interesting. Now, I didn't know what size engine this is, but down there you can see the engine code HRA0. And from a quick Google, I've learned that this is a 1 litre engine. That is crazy. Been driving this for a day now, and I would not have guessed that this was only a 1 litre. Maybe a 1.2, but not a 1 litre. So actually, I'm quite impressed by that. So what don't I like about this car? Well, it's interesting driving a car like this, because this is about as new a car as I've ever driven, and it just makes me realise that I don't like new cars. Still, I'm yet to get onto the thing that really baffles me, but it's things like this that I'll show you before we get onto that are just not me. Electric handbrakes. I need something there. When you're on a hill, the car does hold itself on a hill start, which is great, but it just seems unnatural and I can't trust it. I mean, you have to trust it and it does work, but I just don't like it. And these screens, what on earth are these about? In the UK, it's illegal to be on your phone whilst you're driving, yet apparently it's okay to be fiddling around with one of these. And I can tell you now that I am a lot more distracted trying to work out one of these than I am holding a phone to my face. Logic? You'll also know from my previous videos that I'm not a fan of the Apple CarPlay, which this does have. I have already tried to connect my phone to it. It wasn't straightforward. I know with a bit more time I can get it to work, but it's a lot more time than it would to just chuck a CD in there. Oh, I'm showing my age now. Right, let's get on the road and I will show you the thing that really annoys me. Here we go. So that says this is a 90km/h speed limit zone. Now it's just changed to 70, but there are absolutely no road signs. How is anybody supposed to know what speed they're supposed to be doing if their car doesn't tell them? And is the car telling me correctly? Who's to say? No, when you go over, the car makes noises at you. Here's an actual sign saying 70. And that should drop to 17, it does. This makes you think that the speed limits must be right, but then it drops to really low speed limits in places where you'd think you'd be able to drive fast, and high speed limits where it's wiggly and you'd think you needed to drive slowly. So now on a road that says 30, which is like 20 miles an hour. This doesn't feel like it needs to be a 20-mile-an-hour road. At any moment it will jump up to 90. There we go. What was that about? Well, this time it actually says 30. What's it about?
Dunno, nobody knows.
So that is my grumble with not necessarily the Nissan Juke, but just the speed limits in general in Portugal. I mean, I don't know if there are speed limits. If you watched that and thought, why are you speeding and showing this on YouTube? Well, you obviously know that I was speeding, so please enlighten me why a speed limit on a road can go from 30 to 90 to 30 to 90 when nothing really changes and there's no road signs. But now, I mentioned I was impressed with the engine, being surprised it was a 1 litre 3-cylinder turbo. So let's see how fast this can do 0 to 60 on this lovely straight road here. Well, just the one run I've done, and I would say that anything less than 10 seconds is impressive, and the Juke did it in 9.7. Good on you, Juke. I think that is it then for this little holiday video. As I say, a little bonus, a bit something different, and I promise you we are back on the Astra next. I know this because I'm already halfway through filming it. So I will see you next time back in the UK. Thanks for watching.